Hello, and I'm here to show you that there's like a Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man versus the Cammol Cactus right here. It's like so far was sponsored by Marvel Comics. It's like Marvel comic books, and what you see right here is for Cammol Cactus. Is you got right here is that this big giant you just say cactus man you say is that that he would during the time of say emergency landing of say the plane that they were aboard is that they would had jump from a parachute from the plane with the parachute and then one of the guys had landed on the cactus so far with with the green lime, and then along with the test formula so far with the for the sea life species. And it's like you have it to where that of course this was a villain that I made up. It's like so far as the imaginary, so far as imaginary villain that for the Cammol Cactus is you can look at it as the character as like the camel with the little hunched on the backs on the back part of the camel. But so far as for the Cammol Cactus is you have Spider-Man right here, and you got the web spins, and then you got the details as so far as it could be out of Los Angeles, or it could be the New York City type scenery for the so far as for the Spider-Man film. But you got right here is you got the Statue of Liberty, in which I would think that if they were to do a movie, so far as you say if they were to make a movie, ready for it's like it could be Electro or Vulture or it could be maybe Burglar or Black Cat or whatever that they to include like Statue of Liberty, and maybe have a little bit of scenes in the background, such as you say is that maybe a ship, it's like a ship that would be carrying, say somewhat of a few people. It's like you got a little scene right there of say as the island. You got the ship right here, and then you got a little bit of details of the buildings and stuff. It's like with Spider-Man with his web spins, but you have Spider-Man where he will be able to climb the walls. He will be able to climb the walls, and then swing from the ceiling. We say is dangle from the ceiling. But you have it to where Spider-Man would the Amazing Spider-Man would have it to where he would have the powers to where he would be able to climb walls and then have his spider spins. But then along with Cammol Cactus is that this guy who would land on the cactus, and then he would like gain what you say the power to where he would be able to where he would have these little rope lime strings that would come out of his arms, and these little sticky lime strings that would come out, and then of course is that they would allow him to is like he can get larger. Is that you have it to where he rolls up, it turns into different shapes and sizes. Is like you got the size right here, kind of square, triangle, whatever, and you got it has it to where he can change and just say into different shapes and sizes. And then of course it's like you get that it's like so far with Cammol Cactus that he where he gets bigger, and then he has these big thorns, these big little you say thorn little things, objects that were if Spider-Man were to try to catch him or whatever you call it, he would try to fight off. If Spider-Man were to try off say the Cammol Cactus, the Cammol Cactus burglar, say is that it's like something where he can pin him down with, where he can poke him with. But so far with Cammol Cactus is that you have it to where that he it's like gets buried and say in the dirt, and then finds say the camel, and then where he's able is like so far as the desert to where Spider-Man meets up with him, and so far as where Spider-Man meets up with him, it could be maybe the jewelry store or whatever you call it. But if Cammol Cactus, you say Cammol Cactus burglar were to go after any store, more likely it'll probably be a TV store, something to steal one of those HD TVs, or it could be a jewelry store, whatever it is, to steal, or say those hundreds or so dollars worth of jewelry. And then along right here is or it could be cash or whatever it is, but it's like so far with the Cammol Kactis burglar, is that so far with the building, and Cammol Kactis, or Cammol Kactis. So far with the Cammol Kactis burglar, is you have it to be Liberty Island, and then you have it right here. You get the city details. City details, and then of course it's like with Cammol Kactis. Well, with Cammol Kactis, he would have these little ropes that will allow him to grab anything that you wanted, such as jewelry products, or a phone. It's like if you want to make a phone call, so far as going after this stuff, this stuff that that say is worth, say, valuable. But so far as Spider-Man is like I'll teach you a lesson. I'll teach you a lesson. It's like show me what you got. But so far with Spider-Man is that it's like so far as fight off the Cammol Kactis is like how does Cammol Kactis, if he gets captured or if he gets killed or whatever you call it, more likely you could probably say that with Cammol Kactis that more likely that it's possible that he gets stranded. You say he probably gets stranded down into a sewer. A sewer where more likely there's a lot of chemicals and stuff that would say where he gets trapped down there, trapped down in the sewer. I say kind of like the Lizard Man, but so far with whatever there's strings that would trap him down in the sewer, whatever it is, he gets captured by the police or whatever you call it. But so far with Spider-Man versus Cammol Kactis is that so far with this villain right here is that of course, as everybody knows, is like that so far as for me, is since me for doing the artwork is like I'm kind of what you say is a Spider-Man fan, and more likely that I say this is that one of these days I may like I may want to say play part of a role of a villain, and we say, and maybe in the future's films. So far as playing a villain, and one villain I think I did have in mind, maybe is Rhino or Scorpion, but then of course this villain right here is an idea that I came up with with the Cammol Kactis. But a few other villains that a few other allies who say that I could maybe think of as could be is like a maybe Cuddle Buggy or whatever you call it, the Cuddle Bug, or maybe Batlack or something like that. Maybe Batlack would maybe be a good Batman villain. They say you never know if they're gonna make a movie or Marvel Comics, and more likely that they're gonna say that they're gonna be doing a Batman movie, or you say, or doing a comic book, whatever you call it, cartoon magazine. But the way I think about it, so far as web spins, is that so far as the artist is like the artist for is like who does the artwork is that it's like if people enjoy it, the more likely they may look at it. And they may look at it is like it's like so far as is that the so far as with good art, which way I think about it is that the more ideas you come up with, it's like the more ideas that you come up with, that the fact is that there may be people that may be interested, and that it's like may lead you to where it's like one of these days that maybe you could write your own ideas down for maybe a comic book character or whatever you call it. But so far as the Spider-Man versus the Cammol Kactis, and then along right here you got the desert scene. But right here, and then along right there, and then along with Spider-Man. So far with Spider-Man, it's Spider-Man versus Cammol Kactis color.